Pete, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Was it a good night for the NFL in the move by Ed Hockley?
Well, I think they have to do it now, Dan. There's no question about it. I mean, after the Cam Newton thing where he laid on the ground for, 4, 6, 8 seconds, face buried in the turf, and didn't miss a play, I think that the NFL has to show that it's vigilant, whether it's for show, whether it isn't. They did the right thing last night when Hockley took him off the field. He should have come off the field.
But the fact that it was Ed Hockley doing it and not the person whose job it is to spot it or their trainer, that's what I found interesting.
Well, but you know what would have happened. It's very possible that the spotter upstairs thing, and it's possible that the independent neurologist on the sidelines, in conjunction with the spotter upstairs, would have done the same thing. I mean, there's supposed to be basically 3 safeguards here. Somebody watching, oftentimes with binoculars from upstairs, someone watching from the sidelines, and also the referee, the officials on the field. As our Jenny Barentis wrote this week at the MMQB, there also ought to be the ability of the team physicians on the sidelines to have the exact same ability to be able to take players off the field and to be able to call medical timeouts.
The game last night tell you more about the Jets or the Bills?
Man, it was really bad, and I know that Bills are missing Marcel Darius and all that, but, when is the last time, if ever, that a Rex Ryan defense gave up over 35 points, almost 500 yards, and made Ryan Fitzpatrick look like Tom Brady? It just, the Bills, it's just not working. And at some point, I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know what the Pagulas are thinking right now, but if it continues this way, I don't know how he comes back for a third year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that as well. That I think he started the season on the hot seat. We're talking to Peter King from the mmqb.com. He's on a train right now. Where are you headed, by the way?
I'm headed up to Boston. I got a doctor's appointment up there for the day.
Oh, you go say it. Maybe you could go get some catch-in time with Tom Brady if Giselle will let you get in the backyard there.
You never can tell what might happen, Dan.
Yeah. The reaction to Josh Norman not covering Antonio Brown from around the league, and certainly the Giants, who don't even play Washington until the following week. But what did you make of all of this, and why didn't Washington eventually just say to Josh Norman, you know what, go on Antonio Brown and we'll deal with everybody else?
Because their game plan during the course of the week was to be side-specific, to not match up Josh Norman with Brown play after play. I think, though, after Brown had some early success, I thought it was a huge mistake to not make that change. If Josh Norman's your best guy, and very clearly he is, of course he should have been on Antonio Brown, and they should play a matchup. When it's that, when it's sort of that, when Bashaud Breeland is getting killed by him, you got to make changes. That's what good coaches do during a game. They make adjustments, and Washington didn't.
When does Mike Zimmer name his quarterback?
I don't know that he's going to, but I'm sure that he's going to start Sam Bradford. There'd be no reason to continue starting Sean Hill if you think that Sam Bradford has got enough knowledge about the offense, and surely with Scott Turner and Norv Turner being with him now for 2+ weeks, I think he's going to have enough knowledge to start this weekend against Green Bay.
I know we love to overreact with the NFL, but Carson Wentz, now the savior in Philadelphia after beating the Cleveland Browns. Are you on the bandwagon?
Very much so. I mean, the first series of his NFL career, the first time he's ever had a home game, college football pro, outside of the state of North Dakota. He goes right down the field and throws a perfect fade to Jordan Matthews in the end zone. Looks like he's been playing for 8 years. And I think what everybody always said about Carson Wentz is the proverbial nothing phases him.
Yeah.
And he has not seemed at all intimidated by anything, including WIP. He's just so totally cool with everything, especially being in such an intense market as Philadelphia.
And WIP is the sports talk radio show station there in Philadelphia. And not
they tend to have some opinion.
not afraid to skew negative there on WIP.
Yeah.
Enlighten us on what is happening with Vegas, the stadium, and the Raiders. That possibility.
Well, Dan, you knew that the politicians and the businessmen would get behind this in Las Vegas, and they would put the funding down for it, and they're on the way to doing that with what they approved this week. And I think the one thing to look at right now is that, the NFL, led by guys like Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones and Dan Snyder and a lot of the newer owners, even though you don't think of those guys as newer owners, they're the more aggressive owners. They are fine with the NFL going to Vegas. Life has changed in the last generation, and I think unless someone in Northern California throws a Hail Mary, I think it's. I don't want to say yet it's likely that they'll go there, but if you ask me my gut feeling, Vegas is going to get the Raiders.
I'll leave you with this, with Dak Prescott, with Carson Wentz, with Trevor Siemian. They've had some success. Now with Jared Goff, maybe the backup to Case Keenum, how long does that backup role last, and how much pressure is on Jeff Fisher to get him in as his starting quarterback?
Well, I talked to Fisher in training camp about this whole thing, and he said very clearly, I'm not going to play Jared Goff until he's ready, no matter how much pressure Jeff Fisher is going to be under. And he's going to be under tremendous pressure. I think he's probably going to stick to his guns on that. Now, who knows? If they have a couple more 28-0 losses, you never know. But my whole feeling all along has been that they're going to treat Jared Goff the way the Bengals treated Carson Palmer in his rookie year. They basically said, we don't care. He's not going to play. And they said it right away. And Fisher says, we're not going to play this guy until he's ready, until it's time. And I think that's smart. It's easy to throw him to the wolves right away with a bad team, but it doesn't make any sense for the long term. And I think even though he has not been overly impressive in the games or in camp, it'd make it a lot worse if you put him in before he was ready.
I'm right there with you. I keep saying, hey, this is a long career. He's not a bust after 1 week. Let's wait a little while. Safe travels to Boston, Pete. Good to talk to you again. Thank you.
All the best, Dan. Thank you.
Peter King, the MMQB.com.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.